Welcome back, sir.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
It's amazing, bro. I was just thinking, just to do a little recap of all the things we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah.
On the way here, I was remembering you had kind of a Fast and Furious type of life, like in the movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got the dancing; it's happening on the street. You know, there's different gangs, there's different groups. You've had the the One Blood at the end, but in the beginning it was the Black Panthers, the LPs,
Black Panthers, the Hoods.
Yeah.
And then One Blood Crew, and then eventually it turned into a business venture, hip hop revival entertainment with One Blood.
You're getting kicked out of the house, staying with friends, trying to find one way, fighting in the neighborhood just so so you can stand your ground and be left alone.
Yeah.
All those things. And then we got to get into the business side of things. There was some problems there. Because there was a little bit of people taking advantage.
Yes.
Money going magically into the air, allegedly.
Allegedly to the air, that's true. But then that was the learning path as well. Then there was more learning.
And the last, I remember you were mentioning of meeting your friend Gujaz, and slowly they begin some structure. Yes. And they're having the meetings, Saint Enoch, breakfast, and what do you want to do?
Yes.
That's where we ended up.
That's where we ended up, I remember. Yeah, so should I go from there?
Take it away, man.
So with those meetings, we started meeting up early in the morning in St. Enoch, and then coming up with ideas to do street dance classes. So bear in mind, prior to that, I was not really teaching classes. I was just going to a space, and then we'll train, we'll come up with routines for showcase, because we did a lot of performances and a lot of street showcases. But now, with Good Jazz, we were structuring a lot of things. So Good Jazz was really smart. One thing was good, Good Jazz, he knew how to keep you calm and know how to solve everybody else's problem. You know, he used to use mathematics and things like that to solve everybody's issues. And one thing I remember about him, he used to tell me when I'm speaking to him, when he had his board and his notepad, when we're planning in this meeting, he used to say, Rudy, when you're talking, it's almost like your mind is like this. And then every time you talk, it's like, pss, 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 pss. Now, the reason, what I do when I'm here is to do this. So he took his arm and he started to unlock my fingers. And then he used to make you, and he started to do that. And then so that he can flow better.
Right. So you were saying that you're too tense, too
many ideas, too much release. I'm like, pow, pow, pow. Like, there's no resting.
I mean, based on what you've said, growing up in that environment, all the things you've been through, it's understandable also. Like, this is, as you said, this was a boy who needed structure.
Yeah.
Needed some sort of, not the suffocating type of structure, but just something, a frame.
Yes, a frame, structure, guidance, direction, management. And Good Jazz would have been the first person I would have had coming into my life. He was already in my life before, but he was doing other things. So this time he came and he saw what I was doing and he wanted to help me. And then when he saw what were the potential, the things we could do, he dedicated his time and life to it. It was like apprenticeship to Pinewood Studio, Wish.
That's a big sacrifice. That's someone who really believes in you.
Yeah. GMAC course, shoot, university, shoot. He went to tell his parents, even blessing, so he can go on a business journey with Rudy.
I mean, I gotta ask, where is Good Jazz now?
Right now, just to jump it to now, right now, Good Jazz is a very successful businessman.
Good.
Very, very successful businessman. And I'm proud to say that. I'm very proud to stand here and say Good Jazz is a very successful businessman. But we'll get to that.
I had to ask. It was like all this. You kind of want to feel, want to know that the story ends right,
Yeah. It does. It does end right. So throughout those meetings, we started to structure all the things that I did, but I didn't have no structure with. starting with street dance classes. We managed to get LA Fitness to give us a good price to start street dance classes.
Yeah.
And then we now starting to structure the dance crew. One blood crew was now had to put on a structure because we were like, okay, now Rudy, you the main choreographer. You have to create routine that are based like this, like that. You're gonna go perform. It's a big deal. It's not just like dance, and then there's a performance. Oh, let's go and perform.
I mean, this is a very good. It just naturally flows into like the question I always comes up which is like, how do you balance that? The creative side. We're artists. We want to express ourselves. We want to do these amazing things.
Yeah.
But there's also the realistic side of you want to make a living with it,
Yeah,
ideally.
true.
There's a bit of a give and take between, I want to keep my freedom, but I have to work with the market in that sense.
In the angle of good jazz, I was still doing all that stuff. Freedom, running around, dancing here, there, and doing all types of jobs. But when it came to One Blood Crew and what we were trying to do with Hip Hop Revival Entertainment, it was structure. He had opened a business account for Hip Hop Revival. He had got LA Fitness. We had street dance classes now up and running. And we did a calendar. We had to raise some funds to do the calendar. We did a lot of street showcases so we could raise money. Easy in the street. When we perform in the street, we can easily raise like £400, £600 one Saturday. A good performance like that. But when we did the street now with good jazz, now when good jazz came, everything changed. When we did the street prior to good jazz, when we did the street, it was like when we finished dancing in the street, even if it's 10 dancers, even if I'm the one leading it, most of the time I was the one leading it because after
experience and
yeah, it was me that was leading it. But at the end of the street showcase, we always take the bucket, count all the money, and then divide it to the people that danced, that were dancing throughout the day. That's what we usually did.
Yeah, of course.
With good jazz now in the picture, it was like the manager, but also like the boss. So we used to call each other 50-50. Yeah, meaning we're business partners, but I play a different part than you play. That's how me and them agreed. So, distraction. These texts. So we play different parts. So you play your part and I'll play my part. And his part was kind of big, As much as I understood my part, I really can see why he did that was a lot more big. So he changed the whole structure. Every street showcase when we finish, nobody gets the money because now the money goes into the business account.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It made sense because we had now to start doing things. But the structure came with problems because now,
of course,
now the whole chilling, the whole hanging around, the whole people just taking advantage of the fact that we could dance for free because we're dancing for free. Every space we had was for free. Even the place with Robert before Good Jazz was for free. We didn't really pay anything to be there. And then we now had the Mel Milap Center, which was on Berkeley Street that we were using through the Indian connection of Good Jazz.
Yeah.
Free. So our session was like for free. So the whole One Blood movement was free for everyone. Bear in mind, in the community or in the industry, like I would say, the dance industry, not everything was for free. There are people running dance classes, dance schools and everything. But we had the whole movement, which was respected. A lot of people knew we were. We were like the street dance crew, like One Blood. Everybody knew One Blood was, But it was for free. So when we just start changing the structure, it actually starts to highlight that what we're doing is a job. It's a big deal. We had to treat ourselves with a lot more respect. We had to structure. I had to be organized. I had to start making decisions. Everything was not just friendly, hi, bye.
Yeah, well, suddenly you need to have, as you said, there has to be a bit more organized. And so that means cutting off some of the... Artists can get excessive. We know that. We can start hanging about. Next thing you know, we're just chatting and how is your... And like, we're supposed to be rehearsed. We're supposed to be, whatever. Yeah. But instead of that, we're just having this good old time. And then we all walk away like, oh, I had a great time, but did we actually do anything?
True. But you see, in my place, I was like, I was followed. I was one person that had, I had a really big name that a lot of people were following through dance. So I had this exit and outlet for all the other guys. So they came to me to be part of the street dance scene that I provided, which was not much really. It was just dancing in the streets, going to Main Milab Center, which is like a small studio, and then doing a bunch of performances. That's as much as it went, you know?
Yeah, but at this point, you've kind of become a little bit of a brand.
Yeah. We went to London a couple of times, did some battles, but we didn't really tap as much that I think we could have. So at that point, things started to become hard for others. The ones that were around me, friends and close homies, we call them. And we had to structure, we had to stop letting people in the room for sessions. Strict rehearsal was tight. And we put on extra rehearsals. Now we had to tell people that you have to pay for the extra rehearsals. So one thing I liked what Gujas was doing, it was like saving. Street money, save. Performance money, save. Anything that comes in, save. Minimum outlet, gross, money coming in. That's what I realized that he was doing. Had a lot of fallouts with close friends. Didn't like the structure. Lost a lot of dancers. There was big time fallout with one, but to a point where I lost numbers of people because of the structure. A lot of people talking, saying that we exploiting them because we started charging for classes. Bear in mind, everything prior to that was for free.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know all the backstory. Yeah. But there's something that when something was for free and suddenly you're like, well, actually, I need to start charging. Yeah. People get pissed off, man, if they get used to.
And bear in mind, I'm not a funded organization.
Yeah.
I'm just a person that loves to dance and that's passionate about dancing, but now has a partner that wants to steer us the right way.
You need to make a living also.
Yeah, make a living also. So I'm getting this new structure. And I lost a lot of good friends through it, but at the same time, I gained a lot of other dancers. Yeah. Throughout that process, it builds up into a big number, then it goes into a small number. We still were dancing in the street. We were doing classes. Classes was mobbed. Never separated the ages of the classes. I'll put dads and kids and youths all in the one class. They all learn street dance the same. There was no separation of ages. Or kids learn like this, adults learn like that. If you love street dance, you should be able to learn in the one room. That's what was my perspective at the time, until we got into it. Now, we grew strong and powerful as a business because now we had structured classes. A lot of students coming to our classes. The same student were following street dance, so we had a group of numbers to go out in the street and perform. To me, it started to remind me that I was rebuilding this, what we lost with hoods, with one blood through dance and performing and all that kind of stuff, which was great. With good jazz, the structure was fantastic. Classes, performances, parents, structure, good. He had everybody on a good bonnet. Then there was the whispers. The whispers was through me. People used to whisper in my ears. What are you doing with good jazz? What are you doing with good jazz? Where are you guys going? You guys are making money, yeah? 50-50, what does it do for you? Blah, blah, blah. So
you start getting these, well, really, do you really need him? Do you really?
Yeah.
It's always like when you get this, like, it's the classic, you think of temptation in like traditional stories, and the trope of like, what do you really? Come on. Who's the good one?
So the thing is, the image looked like, when we went to do performances, everybody was uniformed. From me to all the dancers. Yeah. Jumpers, red jumpers, we look really cool, like a unit, It was not just the typical, not typical, but it was not just an army of dancers that's like that, but an army of people that could release all different type of energy through street dance. And the community bought it, People used to follow us. They wanted to buy the jumpers. So it was really good and structured. When we went to performances, Gujasu would wear a suit or very nice. I liked the way him and his brother. So Gujasu always got his little brother, Gagandip. So every time, big supporters. I'm talking to you right now. We made some chains in 2007. Some chains from the King of Bling shop, the one under the bridge. And these chains were One Blood Crew, engraved One Blood Crew, and in the back of it had a picture of Hip Hop Revival Entertainment logo.
Yeah.
And then we had made every single person in the crew these chains that we were repping like that. One Blood Crew chains. So somebody can walk around and be like, yeah, I'm part of One Blood. Like, it was a big deal growing up. Until today, Gujas, with his successful business, he still wears the chain. Him and his little brother.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about it. That's beautiful.
He still wears the chain. But back to the story.
There's one thing, if you want to touch into this a little bit, touch on this a little bit. Sorry, my English just went out the window. The power of merchandising. What's been the experience of? Because as you were talking about it, in my head, I was like, I'm a stand-up comedian. At what point, how, and when should I start setting up my own little merchandise? Like my T-shirt, my this, my that.
So, good jazz.
But I'm asking is like, when do you think is the best time for someone if they're like an artist?
I would say ASAP, now. Like, do it now. Don't wait. Don't think.
Because even if it's only your grandma wearing it, someone's going to see it.
Do it now, because you are more of a brand than you realize. You are more of a brand than we realize. If we knew about brands and entrepreneurship and being able to go on the way we're going on right now, like, you see, when I'm telling my story, I'm going in details and breaking it down. But I can stand here also talk in a certain way where I don't have to mention all of that. But this is the first time I speak about it. Like, do it now. Because one thing I understand about branding is you need to have merch, like have it. Because you never know the next person. You can walk out of this building right now. The person that sees your T-shirt, that you're passing a T-shirt to, is your next big deal.
That's one. And two, in a way, it's also free advertising.
Free advertisement. But you're giving yourself also some value. And you're getting yourself recognized.
Because shout out to you, Kyle McGuinness is a friend of mine and he's a filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
And he's got this business, he's got multiple businesses, but he would always show up to practice with doing like stage combat and he'd have his own merch on. I'd be like,
Best way.
It's like, why am I not doing that?
Best way.
Obviously, you need money to make money, so it's a bit of an investment.
Yes.
But there's something to it, like some sort of merch.
It's interesting you say that. So we came up with, we wanted to print out jumpers. That's in the time I'm talking back and forward. Back then, when I was working with Gujas, we would print jumpers, red jumpers. All it had was Hip Hop Revival Entertainment, and then with tiny little diamonds on it, right?
Yeah.
And then in the back, he's going to have One Blood Crew here.
Yeah.
And then in the top, it says Together We Stand. Just normal red jumpers. Yeah. It was a gilding. I don't know if they were gilding or fruit de loom. They were a really good material, but no like the good ones you get nowadays. And Gujas was like, let's sell it for £50. And I didn't know much about business. I didn't know nothing about business. I just knew to dance. He knew pretty much. He was my challenge, I would say he was like my manager, my mentor. Everything I had for business, I learned through him.
Yeah.
£50, bro. I was like, what are you going to sell jumper for 50? What do you think we are, like Jay-Z or something? He was like, yeah, we are. We One Blood Crew. The way he used to talk about us was more level. We One Blood Crew. Everybody's following us. Everybody wants to buy our jumpers. Okay, we'll sell it for 50. Now, bear in mind, we made the jumpers for £17, right? We get it made and everything, £17. £50 he wants to sell it. There is like £33 of profit. Bro, the whole city bought the jumpers. The whole city. And bear in mind, we were not based in any particular area. The street dance classes were in the studio, but the place we were just around town, dance. The street where you find us performing in the street, we're like, yeah, the street dancers. The whole street bought it. Families bought it. £50. They were making money.
Yeah.
And I thought I mentioned that when you dropped the merchandise question, because from back then we're already selling stuff for £50.
I mean, that just because you brought it up, and it's a question that I have in my head, because I'm in that boat right now where I'm navigating this space and I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to get my name out there. But that's something I feel like a lot of artists not necessarily tapping into. I think it's happening now more, and people are becoming more aware in a business perspective.
Yeah.
But it's just something that goes to, it needs to be mentioned, that don't forget about the power of merchandise, because once people start buying stuff that they can wear that represents you, they feel slightly differently about you, because they've invested even more. So it's like the bond becomes stronger.
Yes, true. And especially if you're active and doing something like what you're doing, like comedy, and you're a people person, and you brought me into this, and you wanted to hear my story, get my story out. I mean, I've been here for 20 years. Really like somebody to acknowledge and get my story out, if you get what I mean. But having what you do as a brand is already something powerful, because like right today we could have been wearing Silas t-shirts. Yeah, straight up, we could be wearing Silas t-shirt, and whoever's watching that knows me and see me looking good with it and knows is gonna get to know you straight away. That's double marketing right there.
Yeah. I remember watching this clip. It was about P. Diddy, I think, when he was doing music videos or parties or whatever. And the idea was that he would wear his own merch and would make other people wear his merch as well.
Yeah.
And everyone's just having fun. They're not thinking about this. Meanwhile, he's making big money because everyone's seeing, oh my God, this is so cool. All these cool people are wearing this merch. We want to be a part of it. Yeah. So he just made a ton of money with
Sean.
I'm not supposed to swear. I'm gonna have to cut that one out.
I know. Don't worry.
A ton of money. He just made a ton of money.
There's a guy I know called Gary V. I don't know if you know Gary V. Most of the time, it's actually understandable for us to release that cursing word. Like if you want to say the F word, or you want to say or something like that. There is passion and power behind it.
Yeah, of course.
Like he said, you want to say, oh, this is good, or this is good.
Yeah, but we had the chat of like we're gonna try to.
So let's stick to that. Let's stick to that. Because I can also easily get into well known. Yeah. So, but back to my
let's go back to the story. That was just a little detour, because that was something fascinating for me about the power of merchandising.
Because we sold a lot of jumpers back then, but then to continue the story we've just through it, there was great organization, great leadership. We had the hoods movement that I thought that would have died, that we should have got supported with, would have came in great shape with Good Jazz presence. We had somebody looking out for us. We had somebody structuring things. We had somebody planning things.
And that's very important in this case, because you have all this. You can have all the creativity, but most of the time, creativity without structure, without discipline, can only go so far. Most of the time.
Yeah. So through all of that, then there were the whispers. Again, I believe that I was still immature in terms of understanding what I have created or what I was part of. I didn't really see the strength or the potential of the business of what we were doing. I was just happy, hyper, just all over the place. And Good Jazz had to keep me right most of the time. But then he also had warned me. I remember he used to warn me about if our fall will be you, because our rise is also you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. The only way we can fall is if somebody gets into your ears. They can't get into mine, Rudy. If we fall, that means somebody's got into your head. So don't worry. Stop doing this. Be more like this. Let it float. And I took it in, but it didn't feel like it got in, because there was a lot of people that used to ask me a lot of questions, and I was gonna say, Good Jazz used to dress up nice when we go to performance. We dress up in uniform, we dress up nice. And I liked the way he presented himself as our manager. When he's talking to you about us, it's like he's selling Sony record. That's how he used to talk. But I managed to allow the whispers to get in. The whispers got so into me that I started to question his loyalty. And there was nothing to question. I became the bitter energy in the business. And I remember he took me to his house once after working with him for like almost a year. And bear in mind, he's been organizing everything. I don't ask no question. I've just been working with him the same way I worked with the guy before. I'm all over the place and he's organizing everything. Bear in mind, he's organizing it for the good of us. He's not just taking advantage.
Yeah.
And I went to his house and I saw his parents and everything. And he had brought me in and he set me in the kitchen. He said, come and sit down. He offered me tea. He brought his dad in. And then his dad came and sat with us. And then 2 books, 2 notepads, put it on the table. And then kicked his little brother out of the kitchen. No, you go out. This is an important meeting. I was like, okay, serious. Bear in mind, first ever, I'll say, meeting about something I've ever created, I've ever had with anyone. With Gujas and his dad. We sit down and then open the books. The books had everything in it. Classes, street showcases, incomes, outcomes, jumpers, everything we were doing.
Breakdown, yeah.
Money coming in. And then there was a section which made me laugh. Meetings with Rudy. breakfast.
Yeah.
breakfast. I know used to. Oh, right. That's why you used to say you can eat anything because.
So you did?
Yeah, there's money there. You can eat anything. So I did. It was like breakfast, dinner, breakfast, dinner. And then there was that section of Rudy Boro. And I stood there like, whoa. And then he broke it all down and then he said, yeah, this is what we've made. And
the finances, yeah.
I was in shock. But I didn't feel like I understood what I just witnessed. He pulls out a bag with all loads of money, cash, all the money we've put in together, street money, jumpers, all of it, cash. Here you go. There's like 10, 15 grand here. This is what we've made in 7 months. My head exploded. 70% between me and him, 35, because we put on all the work, because he was like a godfather to us. So every dancer, if you got £1, if you got £2, £5, tax it, good jazz. Everybody, every dancer that's ever encountered a dance with one blood, it was always good jazz that was doing. And then we had to split the cash. 35, fair, he stays in the business so he can roll 35% each. And then there was all this money on the table. And then give me my 35%, he gets his 35%. So I've got all this money. Now, I just got my mind blown in a big meeting with him, telling me all this stuff, over-organized stuff that I've never experienced. Then he's got all this cash that we have, that we made from the street and all this stuff. And here's my car. Now, bear in mind, I'm immature. I'm full of energy, passionate. I don't know business well. I'm still living in couches and all that. And I'm a party, like I'm always out there in the street. So I walked out that house with my head all over the clouds. I didn't know what to do with myself. I had all this money in my bag. No structure. I couldn't even go to my mom and go, hey, mom, look, I've got this money because I'm out in the street. Because I'm rebellious. I'm trying to,
And plus, you still have that little grudge.
Yes.
I mean,
I
so
definitely
no,
had that
I'm going to do it myself.
Yes.
I'll show you.
Bro, I lost the plot. I think that day was the day I lost it. So it's like money took over, the whispers took over, and instead of me seeing the potential of my friend Gujas and what he was doing for us,
And
the mind has flipped, and all I could see was all these other
Ka-ching.
money. Oh, is he stealing? Oh, what's going on? All this weird stuff. Always trying to cause an argument with Gujas.
And also keep in mind that you just came out of the experience of someone, skimming.
Yeah, so I'm still...
Previously. So the trust issue is there, the other things. So there's a lot happening at the same time.
Yeah. So I had a big blow now with him just to sum it out. And I got mad at him for no reason. For no reason, bro. I got mad at him. And then he was like, bro, what did I do? And I got mad at him. I said, I shouted at him. I said, I don't need you. I can't need you. Now, he used to tell me, when I used to talk to him, when I was talking like that, but no shouting at him, he used to tell me, you've been listening to somebody. Somebody's been in your ears. That's why you... And then he would do that thing where you make it easy. So, bro, there's nothing going wrong. It's just your mind is just thinking. And we had the fallout that day, and I told him some horrible words. I don't need you. And he said, okay. And he left. And then that was a separation between me and him. The next day, he came and he handed me over the business card, the remaining of some money that was there, books of the business and all that.
Yeah.
There you go. And I remember when, after reconciling with him, he said the most hurtful part was to walk away and you not stopping me from walking away. And he left, he gave me all of that, and I was still arrogant.
I'll show you.
Bro, I drove everything to the ground. The classes, the crew, the parents. Hip-hop revival. One breath. Everything went south. Everything that was structured by Gujas, blew it out of the water. From that day on, when I went downhill, I got caught up with life and things like that. Then I started to pick it up slowly and fixing myself. And at that point, the business had crushed. You can now anyone could have had an assumption of what it would take about myself. Either I'm not good at working with, because I had those things with me. I could definitely say I was very late. I'm very late at things, not being organized at things, and I carry a lot of grudges. I'd carried a lot of grudges, so all of that was mixed into that. So I was a total mess. And after Gujas, I started trying to rebuild this structure that he showed me.
That's when you have to do it by yourself. You realize how much it is, huh?
Yeah, it was a lot. Didn't know nothing about business. Didn't know nothing. I still don't know anything about business, but I've managed to learn and navigate around the business areas to be able to know what's needed. And at this age, I'm 34 now, I feel more humbly to learn again, like to a level where I'll go to a workshop. I want to take some courses. Like they say, it's never too late. Yeah, but why did it have to take me this long to be like...
I mean, that's a valid question. But also, the one thing I've learned as well over time is that we don't start in the same place in life. And we also don't choose what speed, like, everyone's born different abilities and stuff. So the way we travel through life, we also don't get to choose that. We just get to make the most of it that we can. And based on whatever information you started with, as long as you tried your best, you could end up wherever. Like if you look at it, if you were born a couple of 100 years ago, you could have lived your whole life believing something was right, something was true. Yeah. And now we know that none of it was true. Yeah. None of it was right.
Tell me about it.
If I make this example, but if you were a Viking, you were a good person, you're hanging out with your tribe, doing whatever, and then over the weekend you went up with your lads and went over to some other village and burnt it down and had a great time and did all the horrible things and then went back home.
Yeah.
And you were a good person.
Yeah. True.
So do you know what I mean? Like you can live your whole life we now know that you were probably a bad person. But at the time, that's the most they had.
Yeah.
So again, in life, it's like, as long as you try your best, it can take a long time. It can take whatever. But as long as you got there in the end, that's what matters.
It took time. It took time for me to rebuild the structure, because all I knew was that structure. So I had to try to heal myself first, because I felt like I was keeping a lot of things in. And then after doing a lot of healing, I then started to search how I can fix all the extra things. And you see, everything I'm doing today is with the powerful inspiration with working with people like Rab, although he's done some stuff. People like Gujas, they're like a powerful inspiration to me. And today, because that's where we're heading, and everything is looking good, and there's a good way, there's a good setup, and we all making good money, and we're financially stable, and I know that all of my business are working. I would like to bring Gujas and show him, take him a trip into showing him my business. Like, come Gujas, come see what I've done. Because when he came and see me, I remember after years we've not spoken, but years. So from the falling out, yes, I was living with Next, and he called me. Same number. He's got the same number he had in school. Same phone number he had in school. I've changed like 10, 15 numbers. He still got the same number he had in school. He called me, say, "Oh, Rudy, how you doing? It's been ages. I want to come see you." I was like, "Oh, good jazz." And when he said, "I'm going to come see you," I was excited. At the same time, I was shocked, because at that moment, I'm healing. But Gujas has called me. So I'm excited to see Gujas, because I've not seen him in a long time. But then I reminisce all the things. All the things.
All the flashbacks.
Yeah,
all the unresolved stuff.
That was me now. I knew where to put my place. And he came and see me, and then he was driving, and then we went to see his shop. He was opening a small wee shop. He said, "I'm about to open a little cash and carry business, And then I helped put some stuff up, and I was very quiet and humble in front of him and everything. And then we stayed in contact, but we didn't really work with each other, because I felt like I had a lot to do to prove myself in order to deserve his friendship, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, you felt like you let down your end of the...
Yeah. So we were still not as close, because I went back again to doing my things and keeping distance. 3 years later, with less contact, when I came to see him again, his shop was 5 times the size that it was. So if the shop was this small, when I came back, his shop was this big. He had 2 of them, 2 units right next to each other. So he had expanded, and he's got bigger, opened another shop, and he was the number 1 distributor of the whole city. He managed to use his skills to enter every shop in town and made himself the number 1 distributor of smoking sandry and all that kind of stuff. Successful business across the bridge. Until today, every time I see him or every time I go to his shop, I always feel humble to just walk in and say hi, give everybody a hug, buy something. Although if I want to buy something, he always tells me it's for free, it's my shop. And until today, I always feel like I want to show something to him that he didn't get a chance to experience because of the way we fell out.
Yeah.
And then this drive I've always had to have this empire of things working, which is coming together, was to be able to stand in front of someone like him and be like, all of this is to make up for my mistake.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean,
good guy. He used to...
That's some deep stuff.
Yeah, he used to go into shops. Every shop. Can you imagine? Every shop.
I've done my bit of promotion.
Every shop. Yo, I'm Good Jazz, manager of Hip Hop Revival Entertainment. Let me tell you about One Blood. He had a tablet, pictures. It will sell. It can sell us. We had gigs. We used to go and perform 10, 15 minutes performance. We bring the boys, like the A boys at the time, a group of rappers, which Kadike and Steve are now power control right now. We go and perform in a festival. We bring like 4 boys to perform as the rappers and a One Blood crew, and then we'll charge like £1,000 for a gig. And then we perform, they'll pay us for it. And then we'll go to Glasgow Mela in Kelvin Grove Park or the Western Festival. We'll perform on the big stage, they'll pay us for it. We'll be like traffic disturbance for a festival, you know? And today, I feel like I am that instead of having the unit. You know, the unit used to be everyone there. We all going there, and the hype is what everybody, oh, look at them, they look cool, oh, they want to dance, and they stand good together, and the kids want to go over there, and, you know? Today I feel like it's just me. Although I'm teaching dance clubs, dance club here, there, Govan, Rotterdam, Glasgow City Centre, dance classes, trying to work on the Connect Production Agency, and then Buster B Dance to Fitness, and then trying to do a social enterprise, and then turn it into something that will empower people, because that's what I've always been doing. And I just figured out I can help, I can get some funds, and then connected to the actually cause of what I do, with how I help people, and the business parts of it, and then the accountings, and then investing, and then all of this stuff. Because I'm passionate for dance, now I start to understand what it takes to be able to do all of that now. But prior to that, I didn't know any of this. But I now understand what I have to do. But I'm one person. That vibe that everybody used to go and mix up to be able to be part of. Now we've managed to actually create a big buzz out of it. Now you don't really need to have people following you, but I do want to still be able to stand where I am, authentic, and still sell a message, which for me, besides just music, dance, art, the community and the lifestyle we live in.
That's something I want to ask you about. You mentioned authenticity. How do you approach, or how do you go about staying true to yourself, but then obviously still taking into consideration the market and the business side of things? Like I think, I know for myself, there's always the big fear of you don't want to sell out. You don't want to be untrue to yourself, right? But at the same time, you also don't want to fall into the mistake of just being so stubborn.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not even about you. You're just being stubborn for your ego.
I think I am stubborn as well. And I've realized that for the past few years. I think my stubbornness comes on more so going to places where I feel like I'm going to cause a disturbance. If you get where I'm coming from. And I hope it's not a bad way of being stubborn, but all the places I could go, I know everyone. Like there's no somewhere I can go and it's new that I don't know anyone. So I want to be able to go to a place where I know somebody and still be able to feel like myself. I never want to go to a place where I feel like an old me, or I get treated like the old me, or my presence it's not invited, or my presence is feared, or is disturbing. Do you get what I mean? I feel a lot. I mean, type of energy. Like talking about all of this, I might have no tear down or cry or anything, but I feel everything I'm talking about inside. I don't know how I've managed to just speak it out. Normally, there'll be tears down my eyes, but I feel a lot. So I would say, for me, I want to be able to bring everybody together. I feel like there's a force there. There's a strong, powerful force. When we used to dance together as a unit, we got noticed. We really got noticed. When we used to dance together in the street without having a studio, everybody talked about us in every area. The studio people, not studio people, call them studio people. The dance studios, the college dancers, they talked about us because we were a big number in the streets. But now, the industry and the culture is becoming very commercial and business orientated, which defeats the purpose. So for me, it feels odd to be at certain places.
Right.
Because either is a stunt or a pro. Maybe that's just me overthinking. I don't know. I do that a lot. But it feels wrong being at certain places if the narrative is just for them to be successful. Me. I'm going to be successful. Yes. We love to dance. We are a community. But this is my clients. This is my students. Oh, they can't go over there. This is my student. This is my client. You get that kind of a lot. So, for example, I have dance clubs. I have loads of kids that I teach, you know. As much as I can make money out of them because I have to make an income and a living and everything, I don't get up to go to these classes because I have to make money. I go there because I love what I do. I love to dance. I love to teach them. I like to watch their brain learn something. I'm like, yes, I'm doing something. You know, all of that is what I love to do. It's not about having 100 kids constantly being there and turning them into little minions of me. I want little minions of me to be authentic.
To themselves.
They were, when I used to have young blood crew, authentic dancers. We do the crew, the whole, let's go dance in a competition. Yes, okay, because it was not about competition. We used to dance in the street. Okay, they loved being in the streets. And when they were in the streets, the character was rising because from their homes and from the places they grew up with, streets is not a thing. Street dance in the streets is not a thing. So now they're learning to be in the streets, meeting random people, facing their fears because now they hide from people in school, for example. They hide from people in schools, probably things at home. But in the street, you can't really hide. It's right there. And when I had the young blood, I was training them to be the authentic selves, you know? Styles, culture. I used to take them through hip-hop styles, crumping, stepping, popping. I was not great at popping. I knew it. I knew the story. I knew the foundation. I knew the movies. Like, I can't go wrong. Do you get what I mean? And I'll teach them that. And you would find that it was something that was good for them because they didn't know any of it. And when they came out to dance in the street or in the street, I prefer to say the street because for me, performing in the street is the saint place. Sacred. If you dance in the street, there ain't no ego. You ain't better than nobody. Dance, release your energy. Show people that is a dancer like you.
I mean, it's the rawest form of just out in the open. There's no...
Yeah, like the great artists that plays music in the street with the guitars. They have albums. They do gigs and all that. You know, it should not just be. It should not be shaped up the way it's shaped up now.
And it's sorry. I was thinking about this. Like, it's a very low. It's just a great microcosm of what happens in the world, the greater world. Is like you're on the streets. Some people are gonna stop and watch. Some people are gonna laugh. Some people are just gonna walk past without even looking at you. Someone's gonna try to pick a fight.
Yes.
Welcome to the world. You know, if you go online, we see that. You know,
that's
the same thing. So it's a very good lesson in standing your ground and owning your space. In the world.
Yes, and I can go to places like I am not embarrassed I am not embarrassed. Like, you could throw me. I'm not gonna exaggerate it, but with the mindset I have, I feel like Daniel when the one that talk about in the Bible, where you throw me in the lions, then I will literally stand there and no lion is gonna touch me. You get what I mean? Because recently, when you look at the way the world operating, everything's just shaped up in a certain way, just to look a certain way, just to make some people comfortable. You don't have to be super intellectual, mathematic shaped up that you've went in university. You don't have to be like that. You want it, go get it. That's great. Life is about feeling great.
You're feeling just okay with feeling content with yourself and working.
Feeling great, like you should be able to feel good about what you do. It shouldn't be. You get what I mean? And I personally feel that when I give myself a tag, together we stand, because that's one of my slogan. Together we stand, and all the names I come up with, like Hip Hop Revival Entertainment as a company. Until today, when I look at it, I say I still stand by those grounds, because I feel like hip hop is there, but it's been commercialized.
Yeah, of course.
Into fit the narrative of who does what, who owns what, who has what.
See, that's where I was talking about the limit.
Yeah.
Or just the balance or harmony, whatever you want to call it, between the business side and the creative side.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it time and time again. Business can take over the creative side and it can mess it up.
Yes.
It's happening in Hollywood right now. Like, I'm sorry. There's only so many reboots and remakes and sequels you can see. At some point, you're like, give me something different.
Yes. It's like, I will speak about it. I always wanted to speak about it. I'll say, for example, right now, we have strong black dancers. Yeah, black dancers, African descent, that grew up in Scotland, and then they've made a name for themselves. Myself, the likes of Divine, Goddess Divine, Christian, Levon, Lebi. Most of them are Congolese, by the way.
Shout out to Viv Latifa, because I'm interviewing her
later. Viv Latifa, yeah. Viv Latifa is kind of, like, to me, she's fresh to the scene. But she's doing good, like, she's doing very good. I've had my time. I've met a lot of people on the starting pot, in starting bit. So a lot of people are doing great right now. They're getting into things and they're getting higher. They're showcasing everything. Fantastic. That's what we want to see. But I've probably made majority of them before any of that happened. Do you get what I mean? So from what I'm standing, I know the nitty-gritties of what was before where they are right now. So I won't say that I want to advocate for realness in terms of when it comes to the culture, just to highlight that I feel everything. It's wrong for me to be at certain places where the energy is off and it's wrong. So, for example, we have so many, let's say you see the kebab shops that stand next to each other. They definitely know that customers will have to choose which shop they go to if there's two kebab shops right next to each other.
Yeah.
They definitely know the lease was next to a kebab shop. So it should be fine for them to be right next to each other.
Yeah.
I hope they don't hate each other. They're like, you know what, I'm going to burn the shop at night when you're asleep because you're right next to me. This is pretty much 24-hour shops, news station right next to each other, everywhere. Which is understandable with why we could have all the studios everywhere. But for me personally, I feel that we could be more united, starting with the main black pioneers, people that are really doing something in the scene, united, and also other dance schools or other dance organization, in order to support not just one narrative, all narratives. Do you know what I mean? As much as I'm standing here, I talk a lot about streets, because when I say street, is what is really happening. You get what I mean? What is really happening when every kid leaves a dance competition, they're either in the house or in the streets. When every kid leaves their house, they go out in the street. Where anyone that leaves their home to go anywhere to search or to adventure is in the streets. So we should be able to bring back or still highlight the street aspect of where hip-hop came from.
I mean, this is kind of relevant right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not kind of, very relevant right now, because have you heard the case of Mizzy? And his whole thing is we're in the streets.
That boy, yes.
And that is that is what happens when there's no structure at all.
Yes,
there's no discipline, there's no outlet, there's no hip hop, there's no community, and you just become this child who suddenly decides to do anything and everything in the streets.
Yeah. So I use that as an example. You see the whole TikTok, social media, and all that kind of stuff, right? People can get trained and use that. People can capitalize on using TikTok and help the kids actually have profiles or help them create content or build a business around their kids. Yeah. Because when I had my daughter, my daughter was born, I used to watch this young girl on YouTube called Tiana. She just plays with toys. Hi, I'm Tiana. And because she's mixed race with curly hair, I was like, that's what my daughter's going to watch. 5 years later, Tiana's birthday is trending. She's now got a villa house with her family. She's got her own toys. It means that there's something right there they're doing when they're filming her playing with toys and that. So the parents have capitalized on the fact that they can get the kids to actually use social media for creativity and then make money for the family to live. You get what I mean? Yeah. Like now, everybody wants to do that.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that. You have to be very careful with that.
They want to do that not to... I'll speak on my opinion, right? They want to do that for clout, right? Clout. Fame is fame. But I want to just highlight the fact that we can really use it for good. Do you get what I mean? Use it for good. That's just me trying to...
But same way you can also use it for bad, which is, the whole what happened with Mizzy.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Like for example, with Mizzy, the last video I watched of him, he had a statement, right? And he read the statement, and his statement was quite good in order to just blindside the fact that he was doing all this stuff, right? But again, it was on point. It's like, it took me to go out and do all this rubbish in the streets. Trend, be silly, to get the algorithm going. And then you made me so famous, you even brought me to a TV channel, live on air for the whole world to see me, Mr. Black Man, that acts stupid. But I'm here to say this. This is what you guys worship. The range troubled black man. Because brother Rizla, Rizla that I watch from America is an Islam brother. Very intellectual brother. Yeah? Intellectual. Right? He's deep. Now, I watch videos of him on YouTube. Sometimes YouTube's so sensory. And then I watch some on Rumble and all that kind of stuff. A person like him, it's not easy for him to be put on TV. Because if you put him on TV, you tell the truth intellectually. And it save the masses, the trouble. But Mizzy, you get a chance to go on TV because of the stuff he does. So they can tell him off. By the same time, there is... To me, I believe the statement he made to protect his brand, but I really respect the fact that the image of the media that they're trying to, save us or make us be okay, that they portray, that was a big slap in the face for them.
Yeah, I mean, the media has this we had this chat a week ago because what happened in France, but the media, because it's looking for attention grabbing stuff, things that it's wild that it's out there, and that's not always the positive stuff, because the positive just gets swept under the rug because it's almost common in a way.
Yeah.
So they'll just they'll zoom in on the negative stuff and they'll replay that over and over and over again, and now, because you got someone like Mizzy and you got a media that's hungry for clicks.
Yeah.
And it's give the people what they want, but not always what they necessarily need or what's good for them. So next thing you know, now the culture has to deal with this backlash of like, okay, so who's Mizzy? Now you have to like separate yourself. You almost like it's become this thing of like, oh, the black man out on the street, and now it becomes this symbol of like the right wing is going off right now. Well, let me tell you, this is what's wrong with this. True. Like, whoa. Take a step back. Use your brain.
There was a young boy I used to watch back then that used to talk so positive. He used to say, I went to a basketball court and then a young kid looked at my shoes and he saw Fila. I bear in mind Fila was not trending at the time. He goes, what are those? And then he looks at the boys. He said, these are shoes. And then the boy goes, wow, Filas, what are those? Look at mine, I've got Jordans. He said, yes, good for you. But these are shoes and they're called Fila. He said, why you so... He said, well, you seem very interested about what I've got on my feet. It's not about what I have on my feet that's important. It's about what I have in here. And to watch a young kid like him say that to this young boy was very impressive, because I believe that that's the kind of narrative we want to push in terms of you want to be able to break barriers and the stereotype of how most of the young kids are growing up nowadays.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, she's 10 years old. I find it hard to lie to my daughter. I feel everything. It doesn't matter what it is. No, it does matter what it is, sorry. I find it hard to lie to my daughter or the things that is truthful. For example, I wanted to make sure that she has a backbone to stand on, because I grew up in Scotland and it was no games.
We talked about this in the previous...
Yeah, so you seen the way I grew up, and then I had to go through all of that, and then today I'm speaking about it. I've got a daughter that's 10 years old. Now she's going to go to high school. She's mixed. She's beautiful. She's talented. A bundle of energy, like a father. And she's probably going to have to deal with what school comes with,
Of course.
And I want her to be able to stand up for herself. I want her to be able to be well informed.
Well, being a minority in any country, you learn soon enough. You have to stand up for yourself.
And I want the things that I didn't have access to in terms of information and knowledge for her to have. So the little things I can do, like not letting her go to any dance schools. I don't let my girl go to any dance schools, because I would rather she learns it from me. If I'm the king of the dance floor, then it's me you learn from.
Fair enough. I mean, that's also like a fatherly thing of like...
Yeah, but more so, I want her to be just as strong as me. I would let her go to a dance school, but I want to make sure the backbone of it is well steady, because I want her to go into a dance school, whatever she goes, to explode into a bomb, because I don't want no limitation for her. I don't want no limitation. I'm a good dancer. I can dance.
We've seen some footage.
But I've went to dance battles where I've no battles with the top dogs, for example. I've been watching some dance battles recently. I'm like, oh, this is good. But I ask myself, can you go hard like that? And then I'm like, yeah, I can. But it just takes me to be in that position, in that situation, which I look forward to being in some dance battles in the futures. But I want my daughter to be able to go to high school and still wear black Jordans and socks and a pair of shorts or skirt that's not as short as some of the high school kids, and say, this is me. And not get bullied for it because of the system.
Yeah. No, peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure or what everybody else has. Yeah, do you get what I mean?
You know, see, peer pressure is a psychologically very complex thing, but it's also very fascinating to me because peer pressure is, the outside world saying, you're not like this, you're not like this.
Yeah.
But it's also you in your mind saying, I want to be like that. I want to be accepted. I want to be part of them.
Yeah.
So you play a role in that.
I want her to be able to have that. I didn't fit into peer pressure in terms of trying to fit in. And I didn't try to fit in. I just went. I didn't try to fit in with the kids. I didn't wear Bergos and Lacoste trackies and all that kind of stuff. When I went to hang around with the Torican boys, when I used to hang around in the scheme with them, they all wear the tracksuit, and then you look like you're cleaning at the night. You're like 6 p.m. is night, but you're a group of you guys, everybody brand new tracksuit. Me, I had FUBU. What's FUBU?
Yeah.
Like the jerseys and all that. So me, I was very hip hop dressed, if that makes sense. So among them, I was just me. I didn't try to be them. And it's the same when I went, everywhere I went. So I managed to fit in quite well.
Yeah.
I managed to work also with people to fit in quite well. It was easy for me to change. Hence why I've walked in places and learned, but I had to leave or move on or because it was not me. I'm a bundle of energy. I'm full of love. I will go far and behind for somebody. I will give up my last 50 for somebody. I will do mega extra plus for anybody. But that's not what I get. I don't receive that in return. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be able to teach my daughter to be able to be like, in this bed, I know how to deal with it. In this bed, I know how to deal with it. I wanted to go in her school with our afro so big. So big.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when somebody trying to touch it without permission, she schools them and tell them, don't touch my hair just because it looks like an afro.
Yeah, that's...
Because I'm supposed to, it's not big. Little things like that. I want her to go in lunchtime, put a pair of shorts on under her skirt and do break dancing in lunchtime.
If she wants to, aye.
Yeah. If she wants to, yes. If she wants to. But that freedom, because they're going to look at her and say, oh, look at her, she's break dancing.
But that freedom starts in the mind first and foremost.
So I have to feed it. I have to feed her. Feed it. And I want to do that through my work. And that's how I look at hip-hop, dance, and the cultures. And the way I want to teach the people who are around me is we need to really appreciate each other and know side. Because to me personally, there's a lot of divide. There's a lot of divide. And it doesn't get pointed out. I don't know if it should, but I don't know how you can I don't know how you make it right with some organization to allow them to have the same heart with you. Do you get what I mean? An organization is already a business. Yeah. So how do you make them have the same heart as you? How do you make them go, come on, man, let's love each other. Give me some of your students to my class because I'm great too. How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the size of the organization and the amount of people involved, and the amount of egos involved, that can be quite a challenge.
Or let me run an event that's just like yours, but because I'm a face in the same industry as yours, I should be able to run one. And you, because we love each other, right? We're a community. You send me 10 people. You send me 10 people. You send me 10 people. So we can support each other. Yeah. Something like that. These are the kind of things I want to be able to reach in for, because personally, I feel maybe anyone will say, oh, really, you're just in your feelings. Yeah, it's all about feelings. That's how we protect ourselves. The brain does the
Yeah, there's this fascinating thing of like we have the idea of competition, and there's an element of competition.
Too much competition.
Yeah, but like there's a reality to competition, but at the same time, I feel like that leads to like closing down and in it for myself and everybody else. I don't care about you. I'm gonna do it for myself. But like I'm just thinking about, imagine the crossover between Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's never, I mean, I'm not aware of it. If it's happened, I'm sorry, but I didn't know about it. Like, imagine if they came out with one thing that they did together. Obviously, they take, cheap shots at each other because they...
I swear I have a feeling that Coca-Cola and Pepsi's done something like that before.
Have they?
Like a half Coke, half Pepsi type of thing?
Not even that. Just like something where they're not like competing,
Is Pepsi not owned by Coca-Cola?
No, as far as I know, they're separate entities.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, because every time you see the ads and the jokes, it's always like they're trying to one-up each other. And you're sure it's funny and whatever.
I'll give you an example. See, you, Silas, you contacted me. You say, Rudy, I want to interview you on a podcast. Brilliant. I have a story to tell. And I feel like I'm quite an active citizen of the community with what I do in terms of what I do. But I know many people, I'm not going to call them friends. I know many people that I'm close to like this, or when I see them, I can hug or high five or congratulate, or I've experienced through them, or I've learned something through them, or that I represent, which when I look at them, I see them the same way I see in my heart. That will find a conflict of interest if I was to work with them with something. Conflict of interest, which like, oh, don't want to share with you.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, with you putting me here, content for yourself, but at the same time, we're doing something great right now. I'm speaking about my history, my life, and your question, we're talking, and this thing is going to go out there, somebody's going to listen to it. In a way, you're telling my story. It's like a documentary, like it's a big deal for me. You know what I mean? But then after today, I can sit out and talk with my friends like Don and be like, how come it's just Silas? Why does it have to just be Silas? I mean, 10 years, how many people film, record things? How many people have seen me navigate through the community with the things I do? I know it might just be dance,
It's not just dance.
Yeah.
Dance is a pretty big deal, mate.
A lot of small-minded people. I had the time where I went to a barber that I'm friends with, and then people that are sitting, these people I know, I grew up with. So I'm sitting there, and I arrive and I sit there, and I came early, so I'm the first person to go for the haircut. So this guy comes in, and I know who he is. I'm not gonna say no name, and he's trying to get to work, right? He know who I am. Everybody in the room know who I am. And the space, and then the barber goes, okay, yeah, Rudy, it's your turn. So I stood up to go to the bar. He goes, yo, bro, I need to go to work. Please, can you? I say, bro, I also need to go to work. Like, what's the difference? You get me? And he snaps and he says, what work do you do? It's just dance, innit? Now, in that moment, I was shocked because I'm like, okay, you're a part-time hater, because people like him remind me of people that can sit in one corner and really talk down about my name.
This is a part-time hater, but full-time idiot at this point.
And then the barber turns around and say, what do you mean it's just dance? Don't you know dance is his work? How dare you stand there and speak to him like that? Oh, bro, I didn't mean it like that. I said, you definitely did mean it like that. Minimizing me.
Yeah.
I also had someone in a corporate environment which I was working in, which was kind of crap because it was not a great experience. He got given power over me after being in the place that I was working in for almost 5 months. He came through and he presented himself a certain way, and he got given power over me. And because I'm kind of the creative type of things, I'm not always doing, I don't know what they were looking for, because they didn't really provide anything to do. And then I had now him breathing down my neck. I had 5 months of silence, doing what I was doing, planning this, planning that, creating opportunity, this, that. Now I have this guy on my neck going, have you done this? Have you done this? Oh, I'm your manager now. Then you put him my manager. No, I'm a manager now. We got to do this. We got to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. But what is it that you're trying to manage me on? And then one day, he lashes out. He said, bro, you gotta do what you're told. This is not the streets. Now, words can cut like knives. Yeah. But the streets made me. And there's no way I'm gonna walk into a meeting for somebody to speak to me like, if we're in the office, you should speak to me different than we're in the streets. But then, that also felt like a part-time hating, because now you have power over me. You feel like you're trying to school me on something. So you use the fact that I'm a street dancer to try to tell me I don't know any better. You just know street dance. Because I can guarantee you, there's a lot of people I know, my friends, no friends. I won't call them friends because they're not friends, that I spend time with, or that I know, or that know of me, or that know of my family, that will sit and say, yeah, that's street dancer. Yeah, that's street dancer. And then you see them trying to drop their kids for free classes, or you see them trying to stand next to you because your presence is appreciated in some places, or trying to get favors. And they never once set me here to ask me one interview. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's quite funny. People get attached to certain lifestyles as a means of status, and then they look at your lifestyle and be like, they have that reaction. But then there's a little bit of hypocrisy that slips in, because they also see the value, but they just don't want to admit to themselves that maybe they're just not better than you. We're all just people. But because to be honest, I kind of get it, because people are raised very often with rigid mindsets, and you're told in order to be someone, you can only be someone by doing this. You can only be someone by living like this. You can only be someone if you talk like this, you walk like this, you wear this, you have this job, you have this house.
Yeah.
And they genuinely believe it.
Yeah.
So now they can't, they're not allowed to. They can't allow themselves to be like, he's just like me, because that would mean that the avenue they set up in their mind for value, for meaning, for status is not correct.
Yeah, true.
And they're so afraid of letting go of what they have that they're not willing to broaden their horizon, which would be like, actually, I don't need just this. I can still feel good and do other things as well. But they're just so like, you don't want to let go of that.
Yeah. Let me use this idea of when I used to refer to myself as rude boy. When I was dancing, but I was referring myself to rude boy. The people that was drawn to me wanted to make let's say the boys would think that I had all these legion of girls just waiting to hook up with me that I can connect them with.
Yeah,
I'm a dancer. I'm cool and all that. And when I go, I will dance and I'll look cool. That I can attract females and everything. But it was not the case of connecting everybody to it. But there was people that used that. Oh, do you know Rudy? That people that name drops and all that. Yeah. One of those ones. When I claim king of the dance floor, when I was dancing, I never been challenged as a king of the dance floor. I've done dance battles like in London and in Glasgow. Not really dance battle that's noticeable. I competed in dance competitions and won a few first place trophy because I was high level. I became all-star dancer in the UDO, United Dance Organization. All-stars. You win a bunch of first place. You are all-stars. You don't have to compete anymore. And I was okay with that. All-stars. But so I'm strong with what I was doing. Never been challenged. Yeah, you're not the king of the dance floor. Recently, when I claimed to the public, because it's not like there was a crowd there, so I do it through social media. Guys, from today on, you're going to be referring to me as Rudy King Bantu. The new era has begun. Okay?
Yeah.
It means Rudy is telling you is King Bantu. Like you're going to be calling him King Bantu. The Rudy that you've known, or Rudy the street dancer, is still there. But He's claiming.
But he's evolved. He's learned.
Yeah. So when I came out, I met some friends. They were like, Rudy King. I heard that quite a lot. And I was there was time I used to ask myself, is this the king that I'm hitting is the king that I've just certified, or is this the king of the king and sucking up to me king? Because I'm hitting it quite a lot. I've not heard it. I've not heard it like that in like never. Do you know what I mean? But is it that the impact or the reality is that no, this boy has been kinging it for a while. So now that he wants to work on it like this, we might as well give it to him. You know, I
get what you mean. Yeah.
You know, I applied for it. I wanted to register Rudy King Bantu as a limited company. I actually did register it. Rudy King Bantu limited company. I am a limited company. When I start speaking, it's the business. And then they send me a letter from the HM Revenue. A company house. Can you please explain why you have the King name on it? What's the origin, things, and explain and any things like that. And I was like, oh, can I explain why I'm king?
So this is the government going.
Aye.
What is this king you're talking about?
Yeah. But after speaking with Don, he was like, yeah, you should be able to explain. And then we talked for a while, and I was like, no, yeah, I'm gonna write them a letter. I am sovereign from the Bantu tribes. I am the last standing of the youngest generation of all Bantu. If you trace my bloodline and you go further back, I am sovereign. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So in a way, I can claim sovereignty. You get what I mean? Royalty. You get what I mean? But it's strange because I had to kick butt through dance. I had to stand up tall through dance. And hip-hop was my battlefield. Dance. Face fear through dance. Face everything through dance. Catch up through dance. Fall and get up through dance. Dance was the way. Today I sit with all these multiple ideas of businesses and with me as a person. I want to do talks and motivation speaking. I want to do podcasts and I want to be part of podcasts. And I want to be able to wear my own brand, which I'm working on. My nice brand I'm working on. I'm going to be wearing it. If we do some more of this, I'm going to wear it next time. My hat, my t-shirt, so that we can be able to sell stuff out there. And I'm navigating my hands into things. And before I didn't know that the things I would put my hands into was something that would be great in the future. But now, with knowing self, everything that I touched and I looked at is fantastic. It's going to be a success. And now I see where the empire state of mind comes into. I didn't know that's how it would have come together.
Yeah.
But I definitely gave it life by speaking into the universe and say, this is not just speaking, something inside me was calling it out. And all of that was built in the back of dance. And it had to be some type of release. I feel like if I didn't dance, I would go crazy.
Or you might end up on the streets in a different way.
Or end up dead or in the street or locked up or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talk about, finding a self-expression, finding that avenue of having something that motivates them to get up every day so they don't feel horrible about their life. So they're not lost. They're not, they got a sense of purpose and direction.
Yeah.
And art can be one of the major things.
Yeah, definitely. So today I stand here before you as Rudy King Bantu. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to own 500 companies. And I'm going to change the face of my journey and with everything that comes in contact with it. I'm not trying to just change Glasgow, but I'm trying to change where I put my foot in. So I want to be able to bring some type of changes, even if it's through dance, hip-hop, the culture, rearranging things, bringing people together, creative space and creative stuff. If it has to be there, then that's where we're going to go. But I always feel like my main purpose is to give meaning. And again, it reminds me that like an angel or something, no? Give meaning to life. I get so hyped. Like, you remember you asked me the other day, what do you describe as success? What's success to you?
I feel like this is full circle now.
For me, success is me being fully loaded. My brain cup needs to be so full that it's overboard that I can start pouring into everybody else without feeling nothing. And I feel like that. I feel so much joy to be able to pour outside. And bear in mind, I don't have the money. I will be a scary dude with the money because I will hire all of you guys. I'll buy all of you houses. I'll buy all of you guys cars. I'll hire everyone. I'll be very dangerous with money in that kind of way.
That's what I think Gujaz needs to say. Just show up again. Just be like, hey.
Yeah. I know. I know, definitely. So, but I'm learning. It's not gonna be just freebie. But I'm learning how to direct my king sovereign energy into what has made me this. Dance is one. Music is another. Creative stuff is another. The community is definitely a must and is important. People are a big deal to me. People. I don't care about the organization, how it shape up. I don't care about what charity it is. I don't care about what business it is, because all that's gonna come to pass. The people, that contact that I have with one is enough. Until I grab another. It should be the people touch. For me, is the person needs to feel good, right? It's not just about them feeling okay, yeah, it's okay. No, hell no. I spoke to my brother Christopher. If you backtrack to the story, he was my
high school.
Yeah,
showing up for the safe fights. Yeah, I remember you mentioned to me last time. Yeah,
he was like my partner in crime. And he's been in a secure unit for like 10 years. It's a mental health. And he's not been outside. This year, I started talking to him. And he's happy to talk to me. He's very polite, kind, nice. Last week, I spoke to him. He was like, oh, Rudy, I was trying to get with God and all that, and I feel like I've lost it. I can't get in touch with it, and I feel like I'm too late or something like that. You say something along these words. And me, I'm on decode mode, like I'm on woke, whatever you want to call it, I'm on that. When he said that, my skin went chop. And I was like, don't you dare speak about yourself like that, bro. You're a king in this earth. You're a God walking on earth. God himself, this powerful cosmic energy that we call God, that's opened itself up to create you. First, you are the greatest image that has been created in this earth. If you wanted to talk to it, or if you wanted to get in touch with it or with God, you shouldn't have to ask. You should just close your eyes, or you should just sit and say, okay, let's talk, me, you. I know you're here anyway. Don't you ever speak about yourself like that. Speak positive into your life. I know you are locked up in the secure unit. And I started saying all this stuff to him. But it was just coming like punchlines. I said, I know you're locked up in the secure unit, blah, 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 blah. But you're going to speak your way out of it. You're going to speak your way out of it. You're going to make sure that everything that's negative, you spin it into positive. You're going to find yourself great skills. Speak all this stuff to him. He was all, thank you, bro. The next time he called me, I was in class. I couldn't talk. I said, Christopher, I can't talk. Because he calls me from the security unit. He gets like 10 minutes with me. 10 minutes. Say, Rudy, I said, bro, I'm in class. I can't talk right now. So can you call me some other day? He said, but now that I've called you, the next time I can call you will be, I just want you to say what you said to me last time. I said, what do you mean? It was like the words you were saying. I'm a king. And I laughed. My whole body went. Now, those moments are the moments that I live for, like the most happiest moment ever, when the things that you give somebody in words actually does something. You get what I mean? And I smiled so bright, and I just told my class to wait 5 minutes. And I walked to the back, and I think he was recording. He said, I'm going to record it so he can replay it. So I said, are you ready? He said, yes. I said, okay. Christopher Ikolo Mboko. I called him by his village name. I say, this is Rudy King Bantu speaking. I'm speaking into your life. I'm speaking positive, powerful energy into your life. I'm speaking this, that. I went on. I said, take this multiplier and absorb it. Stay positive. Anything that comes through your mind in negative, spin and use it into positive. If you want to start writing rhymes, start writing rhymes. You want to get back into rapping, get back into rapping. Start writing, get a beat, rap, blah. When you do come out of that place, bro, there's going to be a full-time job waiting for you. I'll be your manager. I'll be your agent. I will do or die so you can make whatever you have as a skills. If you master it, I will help you with it. And then that was the end of the call. Moments like that. That's moments I live for. I've had plenty of moments like that. 20 years in Scotland. With millions. No millions. Millions is too much. Thousands of people. I've had moments like that with thousands of people. And now I'm trying to get the business mind so I can have a space, a place, or a spot, like so that they don't just come there, but if they want to sleep there, they can sleep there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not the space that they need, it's the people. You know what I mean? Oh, we are a safe space. No offense to no one. We are a safe space. Sometimes it's not a space I need. I need you. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm trying to see the...
I'm going
to need a bit more clarification on that one.
So, I want anybody that gets an encounter with me remembers me for how I changed them with my positive impact. Not because of how nice my building looked. Not because how much money I gave them. Not because how nice was my car or whatever. I want them to remember me of the impact I have. There are many times they call me, I was there. The times that I impact them with dancing. The times I've guided them to go for the audition. The times that I woke up at night to go and save them somewhere or whatever. You know, these things are important because I don't wanna hide behind my business, and I don't wanna hide behind my business. I don't wanna hide behind my business. I want people that are encountering my business to be able to get the full Rudy King Bantu experience. I've never met the Asda owner. I don't know how he looks like. I don't know if he's gonna hug me. I don't know if he's gonna high five me or...
I mean, realistically speaking, if you meet the Asda owner, he's just gonna give you a catalog and tell you this is what you can buy.
Do you get what I mean? Just like when I see young entrepreneurs around Scotland wearing their T-shirts and other people wearing their T-shirts, I like to see that. I'll go buy it myself, is when I know that. You know, I support that. But we all are those players. You know what I mean? Like, you doing this for me, you are doing that for me. You giving meaning to my life by coming to me and allowing me to have a podcast, an interview with you that I've never had with anybody.
I mean, for myself, I'm fascinated by people, and I thought, why not put the spotlight on people you don't normally see?
Yeah.
The immigrant artists in the UK.
And
just let them introduce themselves in their own words.
Yeah.
You know, like I ask questions, I've got interest and stuff, but it's a balance of letting you be you.
Yeah, like that. And I think it's great. It's great. I just feel that we definitely need to have more human approach in terms of making things happen. There is a lot more success behind that than just building a business and doing good and making a lot of good money. That makes sense.
Yeah, that the numbers, they're not unimportant. The numbers are what they are. But
I don't want to become rich, and I have all this money, and then when I'm walking in the street, I'm walking like this. I want to be rich, wealthy, with loads of money, and still cycle or still walk in the streets and still talk to random people and still, and still be at the places that doesn't have to change. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to become fancy because I'm rich. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of little bit security, depending on how rich you get. If you get rich enough, then you also become a target, so you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be you still want to be you.
Yeah. I also believe that you become a target if you become a target almost as if you attract the target, because there is people that are very rich that just walk. They're free like that. You know them, they're very famous, but they just walk. They're just free with the people. Do you know what I mean? I always ask myself, what would have happened to me if I win the lottery? Or if let's say in 2015 I had won 10 million. What would have happened to me? I am scared of that part. Because I know what wealth and money does.
I mean, we've seen it we've got examples of people winning the lottery and going on a coke binge, and 10 years go by and they're broke again. They had a good time. But
yeah. But it's not just the lottery. Let's just give an example of anyone that's working hard for their money. They're working hard for their money and they have a nice car, and then they're driving a nice fancy car because they work hard for the money, and then they now elevated themselves. Like they say, you now become the 1%. How many of those still look at everybody else as okay? Because now the goal is, life is about becoming the most richest, the most right doing. Do you get what I mean? What happens when we become right, when we reach right doing, when we reach and all the businesses are working? What happens then?
Well, life doesn't end. You still got to keep going.
Well, I feel that all of that is just what we want. For me, life experience is about human experience.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make earlier was, the numbers can get in the way.
Yeah, human experience, people experience, just people experience. As much as I can have, many people I encounter, I always trying to take them a place where they've never been, in terms of my story, my background, and what I kind of know. I won't say believe. I'll use a little bit belief and know and so, just to give them a little different perspective of how somebody like me that's in this industry think. You know what I mean? So I have a brother that's in industry. I have a sister that's a chef, and I've got brothers that are quite doing good work for themselves. And I want them to be able to be as successful as they can. But when they walk among people and they are around people, you still feel that love from them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they
I've met celebrities that I've served in restaurants.
Yeah.
And some were lovely, and I'm great. Like, I remember I met Sabaton, which is a heavy metal band, and I was surprised by how down to earth they were. Like, unless I realized that they're a band, and I realized they're famous.
Yeah.
But if you take that knowledge away from me, it was just a regular table.
And
like, it was so down to earth and so unassuming that I was shocked. I was like, oh, it can be done.
Yeah.
You can be this person. Like,
yes, bro.
They was just so chill that it boggled my mind.
Yes, bro.
And I've also served famous people, like world famous people, a couple of them, not many.
Yes.
And some of them were like,
that feeling, I celebrate that feeling, because even being in our industry, I don't want although some people say, "Oh, really, you well known, do this, do this." Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try and do this, da da da. I don't want to be. I don't want to be famous. Let's say like my brother, so that everybody can just like me for fame.
Yeah, I mean that I haven't had the experience, but yeah, I remember Reginald D. Hunt is one of my favorite comedians, but I've watched a lot of his stuff.
Yeah,
and he talks about some people just like fame for fame. They don't know your art. They don't care about what you do. They don't care about what you stand for.
Yeah,
they just like the attention.
Yeah, because what I don't want is, I give you an example. I'm a people person. Everywhere I go, I'm like, poof, abundant energy. I can walk into the most hatred place. I can walk into a place where this person don't like me, this person don't like me, this person is gossiping, da 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 da. I can walk into places like that and come in and go, poof. And they have to put their egos aside to come and be part of that. Because you can't stop it. That's what life is about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there was a time where I used to just go to places like that and then do that, and it worked. It helped them, but did it help me? No, because it just made me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So now I don't want to go into any places like that. I want trueness. If I put my hands, if I'm gonna shake the place because I'm too loud, let's shake the place, but let's get along after that. Let's work on something. It shouldn't always be, oh, it's my business, or you're out of business, oh, you're out of business. See this space? I don't pay for the lights. I don't pay for anything. I have 24 access to this space. I have the keys to this space. And if you look behind me having the keys to this space, all it took was my time and my presence to earn that. My time and my presence to earn that. I've met good jazzes that gave me plenty of their time, which you could see what we could have achieved if everything never went south. But after the good jazzes and the rabs, anybody that came in contact with, either they wanted to help me or they wanted to take something from me. Again, no guidance, some type of structure, but they had to fully understand how Rudy King Bantu operate. I'm not famous on social media, but I can create something that can turn into fame soon. If you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I can create anything that can attract attention. But I am in that place of peace where I don't even have to rush to make it happen. This is where my mind is at. And when I am in that place, all I think about is the business side of everything is good for sustainable living, finance, and all that kind of stuff. Very good. But there's nothing that rocks my boat more than the human experience. People. I like to make impact in people's life. Like right now we're talking. This is not to big anything up. Like I said, I'm not like rich and loaded. But even if I had like 200 pounds and I know that tomorrow or the next day I don't have to use any money to do anything, if I can get the bus or the train, because I don't drive yet. And I have like a cousin. I have one of my cousins in Congo called Light. In French is Lumière. And I have one of my uncles that I talk to and I help them financially. And my mom, me and my mom also help some people in Congo. My mom helps a full church of like 20 people. she puts them into school. So £600 can put them into can put 600 pound can put 10 to 15 people into school for the whole year.
Oh wow.
Do you get what I mean? Things like that. That's, So I can take like 150 and send Lumiere and his dad, and then Lumiere will take that £50, he will pay for school, and then you have like 6 months for school with £50, and then his dad will take the £100 and he will do a full 1 month trip to the village, because there's like acres of land and things like that he needs to work on. I only find out recently, so I'm like, yo, go to the land and go do this in the land, because I'm interested in that type of stuff. I can literally stay with £50 in my account, or even 10. Somebody can say, oh yeah, because you don't know how to organize it. It means nothing. Like, it's nothing, because if I have £10 in my account, my missus go like money. If I have £10 in my account, my missus' parents got money. My brothers got money. My sisters got money. My mom has got money. It's not a comfort zone. It's just where if somebody needs the help and is real help, or if I can touch over there and fix something, I'll do it. Because maybe on that day, it's just me who they need it. Do you get what I mean? So that's how I view things. I even help random people. I remember this boy I met randomly, and I've been putting these quotes online. Anybody needs help, I can post stuff, jobs available, and nobody will grab into it. I've put so many jobs online, and nobody will grab into it. I'm like, this is the jobs that you're giving to people, nobody's grabbing into it. It's almost as if nobody's interested in the job. But no, it's because it's easy to get.
That's the alarm I've set up.
Oh yeah, then that's us. Is that
No, we still got time.
Yeah. So, I go behind my means to want to do what I think is necessary to want to help somebody, but I'm not like an idiot or anything like that. I just have faith on people, and I believe that the ultimate human experience is people.
The ultimate purpose.
Yeah, the ultimate purpose is people. It's the future. Technology is gonna change things. That's evolution. That's the evolution we should be talking about. That's it there, right there. Technology. That's what the human mind has done. Has created. Literally showing you that's what my brain can do. Boom. You know what I mean?
All right.
But they fix the purpose, because the human experience is the ultimate experience. Have you ever hugged somebody for 10 minutes and no move and no think about anything? Just hug them for 10 minutes. Who's the person you've ever hugged for 10 minutes and never?
I don't think I've hugged anyone for 10 minutes.
I challenge you. No 10 minutes. 10 minutes too far. Let's say 2 minutes.
Okay, hang on. Now
2 minutes.
From 2 minutes to 10 minutes, that's a whole 8 minutes of hugging.
Okay, let's do 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Have you ever hugged somebody for 2 minutes?
Maybe 2 minutes.
Who was that person?
Close friends, family.
Okay, close friends, family. Now, take that 2 minute hug to anyone random. Offer it to them. Yeah, anytime you see somebody, not just hugging to say hi, but more so like, how you doing? No, come here, come and give you a hug. And then hug them and don't let them go. I just want to hug you. Today is just hug day. We need to hug, like, yeah? 1 minute into it, one of you guys is going to cry. Or maybe past 2 minutes, one of you guys is going to cry. Or one of you guys is going to let go of the hug. You will feel that somebody wants to let go of the hug.
Yeah.
There's power within that. There is power within hugging people and holding them tight for a minute or two. There is so much can go on. There can be healing. You could be shifting the whole narrative in their life just by hugging them. There's power within that.
I'm gonna ask you one closing question.
Yeah.
And that is, we've gone through this wild journey with you over these past 2 episodes.
I know, man.
It's been a long. It has been a roller coaster.
It is.
The truest sense of the word. What is the message, or the essence? I feel like the hug it is kind of covered. I feel like what you were gonna say, but what is what you want people to keep from this interview that you wanted to stay with them? I mean, hopefully all of it. But if there's 1 or 2 things that you're like, take this with you.
Yeah, I think I came prepared for that one. Together we stand, people. Together. Like when I mean together, like it's a unit. Not separated. We are very separated. Just look. We are separated.
Yeah.
Together we stand. And my second part of it will be, you don't start living unless you give somebody else a meaning. That's what happened. That's why I feel that. You don't start living unless you give somebody else's meaning, somebody else's life a meaning. And it could be in many ways. It could be in talking, it could be in time, it could be in conversation, it could be in hugs, it could be dancing, it could be music, it could be art, community, lifestyle, all sorts. But I want anyone that watches this, although my story is kind of wild and you know you might try to make sense out of it, I want this to stay with you. I stand for that, and I want you to be able to stand for that. Together we stand, and you don't start living unless you give somebody else's meaning. That's what I stand for.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I don't think I have any further questions at the moment.
Yes!
Thank you.